Salutations, you little punks. It is that time again where I make the conscious decision to prioritize clothing over bills. To be fair though, my wardrobe is forming into something I'm actually happy with some additional top secret pieces coming in the following weeks. But for now, 90% of today's pickups are vintage, but not trip to the thrift vintage, because most of these are from curated vintage stores, so there's a little bit of a difference there. But honestly, I hope you like vintage t-shirts, because that's going to be the main bulk of today's pickups. Also, slightly off topic, I am taking submissions for the next episode of Sick Fits, so stick around to the end of the video for more information on that. So without further ado, latest clothing pickups. So the very first thing I want to show you is the t-shirt that I'm wearing now. I know I literally just said that this isn't a trip to the thrift, but I actually did thrift this. 1992 Genesis tour t-shirt, We Can't Dance. I'll throw up some b-roll so you can see it properly. It's got this gnarly massive front graphic that I really like. It's got a little bit of cracking, that proper vintage experience. We Can't Dance, the perfect t-shirt to wear if you're at the club and you don't have those moves, you can't cut the shapes. And on the back we've got an equally as impressive graphic. Like, I just love the whole circular design on the front and the back, just making full use of the t-shirt. And this is why I go thrifting in the first place, man. Like, every now and then, past all of the Umbro t-shirts and donated Shein reject clothes from last year, sometimes you find that wavy vintage t-shirt that just makes it all worth it. And I would name you 3 Genesis songs, but I am a massive poser, so what else do we have in store, big man? Next up is another item that I actually thrifted as well. I know I said this isn't a trip to the thrift, but I just had to include it because this is going to be in my wardrobe for the foreseeable future. And it's very rare that I find a pair of jeans that is kind of in my size. These are a 32, I normally fit a 30. Quick sick mate trivia there for you. If I could date these jeans, ooh, archive jeans, senpai. Cringe. I would say that these are early 2000s, just because D&G were in this wavy bondage, military inspired aesthetic. And even though these jeans aren't necessarily as extreme as some of the things D&G was coming out with at the time, I can still see this pair in the same collection during their It's Not a Phase Mum era. The details on this thing is incredible. Like, you might have got an idea of how these fall during my how to style vintage t-shirt video, but let me just give you the full tour. So on the front right away, you can see that they've chosen this cargo-esque material for the belt hoops. You've got this little patch on the zipper that doesn't necessarily do anything, it's just there for show. Further down the jeans, we've got this little pocket on the front where you can put your Nokia 3310 at the time, I guess. And then after that, there's not much else to talk about. It's just a normal pair of jeans. But on the back, you can tell they've really put most of their focus onto the top half of these jeans. One of these belt hoops are positioned diagonally and you can unbutton it if you want. We've got a cool stars patch on top of the pocket, that D&G branding, and on the pocket itself it's got a little bit of patching there, and on the other side stitched behind the pocket, which comes at a really convenient time when patches are starting to become a little bit more trendy alongside this pseudo military aesthetic. So I'm just really happy with these jeans. Hold tight, your local thrift store. Next up, we've got a 1970s Sears cardigan. This is by far one of my favorite pieces in today's pickups. I got this from Previous Garments, who also kindly gave me a discount code to give out. So if you want to check out his site, I will leave all of his information in the description, and the discount code is sickmate20, so just use that at checkout for 20% off, and you can use that till the end of June. Back to the cardigan. Oh man, at first glance it looks a little beaten up, distressed, traumatized even. And if you haven't already noticed, there's like loads of rips and holes, which really adds to this grunge aesthetic. Like, look, the hanger is poking out of the cardigan. That's how thrashed this thing is. But that's what I love about this piece. Even though it's holding on for dear life, it's still kind of wearable. The color is this amazing Sully from Monsters Inc. blue. So here is a quick b-roll of the cardigan. There's so much to unpack here. Like, I don't even want to count how many holes, rips and tears are on this thing, because I'm pretty sure it's in the the double digits, and you can just tell that this cardigan has seen some stuff. I'm pretty sure these buttons aren't the original ones that came with the cardigan. If you really look closely, you can see that there's some stitching done just to repair some of the holes on the shoulder. Some parts of this cardigan is literally hanging on by a thread. Like, you can definitely tell that this cardigan is on 1 HP. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure how long I'm gonna keep this in rotation, just because I'm pretty sure this cardigan will need retiring soon, because just holding it the wrong way feels like it's gonna crumble into a million pieces. It's got a nice snug fit and it goes well with a lot of vintage t-shirts. Speaking of vintage t-shirts, you've probably seen this t-shirt a million times over. It's the ultimate I went to New York once t-shirt. However, you will be devastated to know that I actually didn't go to New York to buy this t-shirt. I know, poser. But I bought it on eBay, not because I wanted to trick you into thinking I am some well-traveled person, but because this shirt has a boxy fit. It's got a high collar, pretty wide in the body, but its length stops around the belt area, instead of most extra large t-shirts that I buy that come down to your knees. It's also got this subtle bit of text underneath the graphic that tells you it's from 1996, and I just thought that that was a very subtle but nice detail. You've already seen me wear this t-shirt a few times over already, and in fact it was the main focus in how to style vintage t-shirts. But right now this is definitely a personal favorite, especially when I layer it with something like the Sanjeev cropped sweater. It just pokes out nicely, but not too much, just giving it a nice clean aesthetic. So here is another t-shirt that I bought simply for the boxy fit. Like, can I fit the entire shirt in the shot? I can. Look how tiny this thing is. So I bought this from 99 Vintage. I visited them last week. Store looks amazing, by the way. So if you're in the UK, definitely check them out. I will leave all of their info in the description. In my opinion, this is one of those low-key shirts that you don't look at and think, oh my god, where did you find this grail? But it is a great shirt to layer and play around with. Like, when I paired this with the 70s cardigan for that Instagram photo, I just thought it sat really nicely and it just added to this whole 70s immersion. So a quick close-up of the graphic, toad of the wet sprocket. We've got some flowers coming out of these vases or chalices, I'm not entirely sure. Oh man, I'm pretty sure this is a tour t-shirt. The best concerts in Europe, tour of 94, and sponsored by all of your favorite chocolates in a celebrations tin. The more I'm looking at it, the more I actually appreciate this shirt. But honestly, I am really happy with this one. It's a size medium, but it's also like a boxy fit, so it does fit a little snug around the torso area and is a touch shorter than I'd like it to be, as most of my t-shirts are like larges to XL, so actually wearing a medium for once is a small but welcome change of pace. So yeah, really happy with this one. If I have to blur this entire section because of YouTube guidelines, then I'm gonna be vexed, but we're gonna give it a go anyway. This is another vintage t-shirt that I got from 99 Vintage. I was a very busy boy with my trade-ins, but if you haven't already noticed, this is a French t-shirt. Let me elegantly read it to you. La découverte du coup de foundry, which roughly Google translates to the discovery of love at first sight, or bonk, go to horny jail. So what are we talking here? Like 80s, 90s? I just thought it was one of those light-hearted, funny t-shirts that probably wouldn't make it past QA today. Like, I'm not gonna describe the picture there to you. I think you can see what's going on. I do definitely think it's a bit risque in its message, but I think it's one of those shirts where like, you're not meant to take it too seriously. As you've probably guessed by now, the first and most important reason I got this t-shirt was because of its boxy fit. It just sits nicely with whatever I'm wearing, and it does its job as a graphic t-shirt. But a naughty vintage t-shirt, yay, woo! And lastly, but certainly not least, probably the most expensive purchase in today's pickups, we have something that has been in my wish list for a while now. So to satisfy my inner hype beast, I traveled to London, burst into Selfridges, found the Chrome Heart store and asked them what their cheapest earring was. I'm joking, I actually was looking for this. The Tiny E drop earring. Look how tiny this thing is. It is so small. So I've been looking for a Tiny E Chrome Hearts earring for the longest time. I decided just to bite the bullet, pay the money, go to the Chrome Heart store and just buy one. At least that way you'll know that it's 100% real. I mean, the tiny E earring lives up to its name. I'm pretty sure I wore this in my last video and nobody noticed just because of how small it was. And even if I put it in now, you can barely see it. So it's definitely one of those pieces that look a lot better in person than it does in pictures or in a video, because like you really got to see a size zoom and enhance just to see that I'm wearing it. The tiny E Chrome Heart earring. That was cringe. Latest pickups. Honestly, I am really happy with how my wardrobe is forming at the moment. There's a lot of really interesting pieces in there and a lot of stuff that is very interchangeable, which I find is a very important factor when it comes to my piece curation. And for the first time in a very long time, I actually feel prepared to post outfits again. So follow me on Instagram if you want to see me style these pieces. Also, don't forget to check out Previous Garments and 99 Vintage. I'll leave their information in the description below. Let me know which one of these pieces did you like the most. Honestly, I am really feeling these vintage t-shirts. Also, let me know what you've been buying recently. Like, what are your latest pickups? Now we're engaging. I want to know about you. How was your day? If you like this video, then give it a like. If you want to see more of what I do, then press that subscribe button and the little bell notification if you want to get notified when I upload a new video. I am still taking submissions for sick fits. The next episode's theme is vintage style clothing. It doesn't necessarily have to be vintage, but it has to have at least a vintage vibe about it. So if you've got the perfect outfit picture already, or you're gonna take one, then that inbox is still open. sicckfits@outlook.com. Attach a picture, give me some details of your outfit, Instagram handle for that free exposure. And that is everything. Thank you for watching my video. You guys are the best, and I will see you in the next one. Cheese!